My name's Karen Riding. I'm Assistant Principal at St Anne's Academy. St Anne's Academy is a sponsored small academy, 11 to 18. We're sponsored by the Crosslands and the Church of England. I've been here for almost 5 years and we've been in this fabulous building for about 2, coming up to the beginning of the 3rd year. The academy is in Middleton in North Manchester. It's deemed to be urban challenging, so that means that there's a high rate of deprivation in the area, and we have approximately 60% of kids on free school meals. It's a fabulous place to work, fantastic kids, but it has its own challenges, as every school around here does. There are 750 students from 11 to 16, so year 7 to year 11, and then another 120 in our 6th form. As part of the Building Schools for the Future programme, we were lucky enough as an academy to be part of the Rochdale build, and we were the first building of the 14 in Rochdale to be opened. However, as the political climate has changed, BSF has also changed, and that has meant that we've gone from a managed service across the local authority to looking for a managed service that's just for St Anne's Academy. When I joined St Anne's Academy, we had in-house technical support, which consisted of 4 technicians. Shortly after we joined BSF, those technicians moved into the managed service, or 2 of them did, 2 of them didn't decide to come with us. And we had 2 years of managed service as part of the local authority managed service. We always decided that managed service was the thing that we wanted. We wanted to be outward facing, not inward looking. And we had a really good experience with managed service. After BSF and the political changes, we've looked out to the market again to find a different managed service to meet our new needs. Value for money was really important to us. We employed a consultant, went out to the market and wanted specifically e-learning, help with our refresh, and going forward managed service that would help us look out, not in. We used the DFE ICT framework in order to go through the procurement process. Civica became our partners at the end of the process due to their really strong bid process, their use of e-learning services and the emphasis they'd put on using our existing VDI virtual desktop infrastructure, which will allow me to use the small refresh pot that we have to the best of its ability. It enables us to have access to all our equipment from anywhere using internet. The transition process was surprisingly painless and far more painless than we thought it would be. And this was due to really good communication from Civica, particularly the Civica project manager, kept us all in the loop, told us what to expect. We had weekly reports as to what had happened, you know, good and bad, both from our side and from Civica's side, and it worked really, really well. I have to say I wasn't looking forward to it at all, and it was painless. At the beginning, migration looked like a task, an insurmountable task, because we have a lot of staff, a lot of students, and a lot of key times during the summer that couldn't be affected, A-levels, GCSEs. But we planned really carefully. The local authority helped, our outgoing supplier and Civica. We had lots of meetings where we planned who needed to do what, with lots of deadlines, and it really did work very well. This isn't a small academy. With a previous hat on, we were had a specialism of ICT, and so there's 750 desktops. We've got upwards of 500 laptops. There are 120 staff. There are, as we previously said, 750 students, and we didn't lose anything at all. Email migrated really easily. We had a week of downtime, which was planned, and we have had no extra downtime at all. It's been completely and utterly smooth. Civica have worked really well with the various partners. We have a local Sims partner, and they came in, planned, cashless catering. Again, that moved over from one supplier to another, new equipment. That was seamless. It has worked really well. I didn't think it would, but it has worked really well. And that's not a reflection on Civica, that's a reflection on the first time we migrated and how difficult it was. Go live is always a really busy time of year, and I've done it twice now, so I do know that it's a busy thing to do. However, this time round it was very straightforward. Students had to log on with a new password, usernames remained the same, which was at our request, and made the whole process much easier. We had about 2 weeks before, we have a 2-week timetable, before every student was in. Staff handed in their laptops at the end of the summer and then picked them up any time from A-level results onwards. So again, that was phased. Any problems were sorted out as we were going along, rather than having a day where 70 staff had to pick up a piece of equipment. We phased it out. And it's been really quite straightforward. It hasn't been without issues. Nothing ever is, but nothing terrible at all. The only issues we probably had have been user-related, because some of the email particularly looks slightly different. It isn't quite the same format, and some of our users aren't very responsive to things changing. But other than that, it's been fine. Where are we now? What does a typical day look like? We have 2 on-site engineers. We have a field service manager that I see once a week, but I speak to far more often than that and have email conversations with all the time. I've spoken a few times to the help desk over in Leeds, and we also have lots of reports that come every week. I have a report every week about everything that's open still. So calls that are still open, which I can look at and ask the questions as to why. Is it just they've not been closed, or is there something that they're waiting on us for? We have service reviews once a month where we look at the reports, and that's not just myself. That's myself, the field service manager, and Donna, who's our finance officer, and we talk about it in the round. Is there anything that we need to look at? Is there anything that, from an academy point of view, is causing issues? Is it anything that Civica can help with? One of the reasons we were so keen on Civica was their focus on e-learning. Going forward, we know that we need to make best use of our refresh pot, because there isn't the money around that there used to be. And this means we need to do some clever thinking. We need a real vision and a real plan. And doing that by myself, I knew would be a hard slog, and I wanted the support of somebody like Civica, who has a team with plans already in place. We've been with Civica for a term now, and we've already done a staff and student survey, and we're about to start the beginning of the visioning, if that's such a word. And going forward, we'll end up with a decent refresh strategy. Going forward, we feel that we're in the right place now to actually start to transform education at St Anne's using technology. Whereas previously, technology has been a tool, and a good tool, but it hasn't made the transformational effects that we wanted it to. We are at the beginning of that journey, using e-learning to its powerfully, rather than it just being another one of those policies that you have to have because the government says it's, you have to have an ICT policy, and you have to have this, and you have to have that. And we needed a powerful partner who had the capability to take us forward with e-learning and vision, not just my ideas being presented to a leadership team that may or may not understand because they're not technologically minded necessarily. And it's important, this area is deprived, and if these students are going to get the best out of their education, we need to give them the tools for the future. And technology and e-learning is the way forward for all of them.